There are moments in life when a person feels like they are starting all over again, even though nothing around them has changed. The sky is still the same, their name is still the same, and their past is still written in memory. Yet something inside feels different, like a door has quietly opened in the heart. That feeling is often described by many people as being born again. But what does that really mean? Not just as a religious phrase, but as a lived experience that can touch both a child trying to understand God and an adult carrying the weight of years? To be born again does not mean returning to a mother's womb or repeating physical birth. It is not about starting life from zero in a biological sense. Instead, it speaks about something deeper, something invisible but very real. It is the idea that a person can experience a new beginning inside their spirit, where old burdens begin to lose their power and a new way of seeing life begins to grow. Imagine a person walking through a long, dark tunnel. At first, they remember light, but as they go deeper, the darkness feels endless. They get used to it, even when it hurts. They stop expecting anything different. Then, suddenly, a small light appears ahead. It is not big at first, just a glow, but it changes everything. That light does not erase the tunnel instantly, but it gives hope, direction, and courage to keep walking. Being born again is like noticing that light and choosing to move toward it. For many people, this idea is connected to a spiritual awakening. It is the moment they feel that their old way of living, full of mistakes, confusion, anger, or emptiness, does not have to define them anymore. They begin to believe they can be changed from the inside out, not just improved on the surface. It is not about pretending the past never happened. It is about no longer being trapped by it. A person may remember their wrong choices, their regrets, or the times they hurt others or were hurt themselves. But being born again is the moment they realize those memories do not have to be chains. They can become lessons instead of prisons. Sometimes, this experience begins quietly. A person may hear a message that touches their heart, or they may go through a painful moment that makes them rethink everything. It could even be a simple conversation that stays in their mind longer than expected. Slowly, they begin to feel a change they cannot fully explain. It is like their heart is learning a new language, one of hope, forgiveness, and truth. For a child, it might feel like finally understanding that they are deeply loved and safe, no matter what mistakes they make. For an adult, it might feel like putting down a heavy bag they have been carrying for years without realizing how tired they were. In both cases, something soft but powerful happens inside, the belief that life does not have to stay the same. Being born again often carries the idea of forgiveness. Not just asking for forgiveness, but receiving it in a way that changes how a person sees themselves. Many people live with silent guilt. They replay their mistakes in their minds, thinking they are defined by them. But the idea of being born again says something different. You are not only your worst moments. You are also capable of renewal. And that renewal is not something forced. It is not about pretending to be perfect. It is about becoming honest about who you are, and open to becoming someone better. It is like cleaning a window that has been covered in dust for years. The light was always there, but now it can finally shine through clearly. This experience also changes how a person sees others. When someone feels they have been given a new start, they often begin to look at people differently. They may become more patient, more understanding, more gentle. Because they realize that everyone is carrying something invisible. Everyone has a story. And if change is possible for one person, it can be possible for others too. Being born again is not always a single dramatic moment. For some, it feels like a sudden shift, like waking up from a long sleep. For others, it is slow, like a sunrise that gradually brightens the sky. Either way, it is a process of becoming new on the inside. It is also not a promise that life becomes easy. Storms still come. Problems still appear. But the difference is how a person faces them. There is a new strength inside, a quiet assurance that they are not alone, and that their life has meaning beyond what they can see in the moment. Sometimes people describe it as having a new heart, not a physical one, but a way of feeling and choosing that is different from before. Things that once felt meaningless begin to matter. Love, truth, kindness, and peace become more important than pride, anger, or fear. At its deepest level, being born again is about identity. It is the discovery that a person is not stuck as who they were yesterday. There is room to grow, to change, to begin again. It is the hope that no matter how far someone feels they have gone in the wrong direction, they are still able to turn around and walk a new path. And perhaps the most beautiful part of this idea is that it is available at any time. Not reserved for the perfect or the already good, but offered to anyone willing to receive it. It does not ask for a flawless past. It simply invites a willing heart. So when people ask what born again actually means, it is not just a phrase to explain. It is an experience of renewal. It is the quiet miracle of a life beginning again on the inside, where hope replaces despair, forgiveness replaces guilt, and light begins to grow where darkness once lived. It is the reminder that no story is finished as long as there is still breath. And that even in the middle of life, a person can begin again, truly begin again. In a way that changes everything, not by becoming someone else,